There's some breaking news for you right now. LAPD officers in pursuit of a possible DUI driver. Let's take a live look right there. It looks like the white car there in the middle of your screen as you're taking a live look from SkyCal right now.
Yeah, we want to see if we can get a closer look. Take a look at the trail of LAPD vehicles following that car. We know this is the Southwest Division of LAPD right now, and you can see they're going through this neighborhood. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 cruisers that are following that car. It looks like it is a white sedan there. It doesn't look like it has any license plates.
No.
Can you make any out on those on the back there?
None that I can make out right now. And as of the other thing we're noting so far in this pursuit is that it doesn't seem to be on the freeway as of yet. These are just streets and using a turn signal as well. And you see homes there, so a residential area at the least. We're keeping an eye on this sedan.
Yeah, you know, we're trying to figure out the area here. Normally we have our map tracker, and if we can listen to some scanner traffic, maybe they can figure out what roads, what streets this vehicle is headed down. But you can see about 5 LAPD patrol cars following that car that's going at rather slow speeds at this point. A lot of times we see these drivers just making their way quickly through these residential areas, but it looks like this one here going at relatively slow speeds, probably following the speed limit there. We're losing sight of it there.
And similarly, in other situations when we've last followed a pursuit in residential areas on roads like these, cars tend to be zooming through. But right now, as we get the location tracker there at the top of your screen, you see the speed, again, just picking up, but still sitting in that 25 to 35 mile per hour range. This is South Figueroa Street and West 63rd Place. That's the location we're looking at right now. And so far, this possible DUI driver pursuit as the Southwest Division of LAPD handling the situation. Notice not really going all that fast. Right now, it almost looks like they're making a square right now as now we zoom in and you see those 4 vehicles from officers in pursuit and following what seems to be a rather straightforward loop around this area of West 65th Street. And Figueroa, Denver Avenue is the other location we're seeing right in front of us right now.
This looks to be possibly along the 110 there, maybe in the Harvard Park area. Could be wrong now that we're switching locations here. But at this point, Gio, we know this person was wanted for a possible DUI. You have to imagine that a patrol car, one of these officers maybe tried to stop this vehicle because they were making some sort of erratic movements, now just completely blowing through this intersection here. Going at 20 miles per hour, but still not following the rules of the road. But you do have to assume some officer tried to stop this person because they were making erratic movements, and then the driver just went ahead and took off there.
And right now we're being told we have Dave Avila on the line. Dave, can you hear us right now?
Hi, Gio. Yes, I got you.
Oh, great. So can you walk us through what you're seeing right now as we notice right here the LAPD officers right directly behind the closest we've seen so far in this pursuit since we checked in behind this white vehicle. But are you noticing anything from your perspective?
Yeah, I noticed that they were doing kind of a semi-tracking mode. You know, since the driver is driving slow, I think what it was is that you know, usually when you get up on them, the driver's adrenaline starts pumping and they start going faster. But as you can see now, they have the air unit overhead. They got the units right behind them, or her.
Yeah.
So we'll just see what happens now. But it's like in any type of pursuit, they'll track the suspect. The air unit will just track the suspect vehicle and alert ground units to any type of direction. And what they're doing now, as far as the air unit does, what they do, is they're giving them a word picture about what's up ahead. Even though they're lighting up the suspect, they have a bird's eye view, just like from our ship here. And so what they'll do is they'll just keep following them.
Yeah, this is a rather slow going pursuit here, Dave, but are you hearing anything about how this possibly started, how this vehicle was first spotted by LAPD?
It was, and I'm not sure what type of violation it was. It was some type of traffic violation, and then they attempted to pull it over, and I think they slowed down, and then they just decided, well, I'm not going to stop, and just kept going. So nothing further than that.
Got it. And you know what? We're seeing this person kind of hover along the 62nd Street here, Hoover Street, making what looks like a big square here. And just
the same repeated turns. Now, at this point, we've been on this for about 5 or so minutes, maybe a little longer than that, and it's incredibly repetitive motions, but sticking with that speed. And of course, Dave, this is a situation where in a lot of pursuit cases, you see these vehicles sort of speeding away at 40, 50 plus miles per hour, and that's where the danger really heightens, especially in areas like this. It's not the freeway, there's traffic, there's people we've already seen walking on sidewalks, walking along the side of the road. So overall, it almost seems like a very manageable, for lack of a better word, pursuit in this case, because you see all these officers tailing this suspect and being well within reason and well within range of who they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, they're setting up a plan now, especially since the vehicle is going so slow. And the bad thing, though, is, you know, and what we find, and I'm sure you've all seen it before, as well as the viewers, the suspects usually like to stick around the area that they're familiar with. And this suspect, from what I've been told from some of my partners, is that they're not leaving this area. You know, they're sticking around this area.
They probably were headed,
No, go ahead.
They were probably headed to some area that they knew, a location that they knew, a home, and then the police attempted to stop them, so they're sticking to what they know here. But now they're just kind of blowing through some of these intersections, again, at pretty slow speeds. The slow speeds make this rather a perfect situation for officers to do a pit, right? Except that this is such a narrow road.
Yeah. Excuse me, just for a second. Yeah, exactly. It would be a great place to pit, especially on these corners. But you have such you have people in the area, and I mean it's 4th of July weekend. It's Saturday night, so you see a lot of pads out there anyway for two reasons. Number one, they're all doing their fireworks. The other thing too is they're watching TV and they're seeing, and they can hear the helicopter and the sirens and stuff. So what they're doing is they're all coming out, which makes it kind of dangerous now for the pedestrians. But at least they know what's going on in their neighborhood.
Dave, based on your experience, and as we see it right here again,
it looks like they're going to do the spike strips. Went over right over the spike strips. That was a pretty easy one, Dave.
Yeah, and I was thinking they're going to try a spike strip before they would try a pit maneuver because of the speeds involved or the lack thereof. But I think that's what they're going to do. If they can just get these tires flattened out, and it takes a while for the air to come out, because what happens with the spike strip, it doesn't rip holes in it, because if at high speeds they would lose control. So what trying to do to keep everybody.
Yeah, you are seeing some smoke come from the back tires
and the
there.
deflation of the tires, at least on the front end, a little bit. And then going back to our previous points, Dave, given the fact that the suspect has been going in this repeated rectangular square shape all the way around, it does make the use of a spike strip a lot easier, because officers have been able to tail and notice that pattern of behavior. And now it looks like the car's slowing down a little bit more, and there's the suspect.
And two suspects getting out, both wearing hoodies there. It looks like they're making a run for it into these homes. And as you see, LAPD chopper overhead, they have that spotlight shining right down on them, knowing exactly where they're going. But you see them hopping the fences there, Gio. And some LAPD officers, some of those officers were right on their tail. And
the fact that we noticed two suspects, one from the passenger seat, one from the driver's seat, immediately bail. The car was still, in fact, drifting off as they jumped out there. You take a closer look here, notice some people on the side of the street, presumably just residents of their homes, but now you have the spotlight shining in someone what looks like to be maybe in a backyard or something like that. It is a bit of a chaotic situation and scene right now.
Given that it's just so congested, but there you go. You have someone walking. Both of the suspects actually look to be wearing hoodies there. So those people look like residents in that area. But that's the thing. The residents in this area, you want to keep your doors locked. This is happening on 61st Street in South Figueroa. You can see the spotlight trying to find these suspects, but it's a rather congested area, so it does make it hard. There's a lot of places for these suspects to jump, but as we did see some LAPD officers automatically run from their vehicles. It looked like they were chasing them there, but not sure if they continued on, given that this could be a very dangerous situation for officers as well.
That's the car right there, the suspect's car that we just zoomed out there. Dave, what tends to be the situation here? Because as Leslie noted, it's very difficult just to get a spotlight on these two people, because it's two people. Our vantage point is from the sky. You have multiple homes, multiple backyards, trees left and right. Essentially, at least from our perspective, a lot of places to hide really right now.
Now, the one good thing here is that we had an instant perimeter set up, and that's the one thing. We did see some officers go in foot pursuit of them. I'm not sure if they got them or not, but so far it doesn't look like it. But, you know, the area unit puts out the description of the suspect, the direction, the description of the suspect, the direction of the suspect for other units to hear. And then what they'll do is they'll grab some units like that one shop number 426, probably grab them and said, hey, why don't you lock down that side of the perimeter? I'll put a unit on the north and south, and then we could just, it's one square block area. And if need be, then they'll go ahead and get the K-9 out here. Meanwhile, they'll ask people to stay in their vehicle. stay in their residence.
Yeah, you could bet, Dave, that chopper possibly is making commands for people to stay inside, telling them that there is two suspects possibly on the run in this area that they're currently looking for. I know I've heard the helicopters sometimes make those announcements, but you're right. Police, LAPD officers have these suspects pretty much surrounded on both sides. In the middle, very congested area made of a lot of, looks like apartments and homes, a lot of backyards, front yards. So we did watch as both of these suspects got out of that white vehicle and just booked it. It looked like some of them were, or one of them at least, was hopping some fences here. But it looks like, at least for now, police are using not only that helicopter, but also they're on the ground. You could see some flashlights
and that video,
scouring some areas.
That video you were seeing was from earlier when the suspects initially bailed from that white sedan, that vehicle that was in pursuit by LAPD officers. And right now you're looking at live footage again from SkyCal as that perimeter was really well established. You could at least visually see it as we zoomed out. Officers right there on Figueroa and 62nd and 61st Street, sort of narrowing in and boxing in, for lack of a better word, the two potential suspects as they keep searching for them. No idea where they are at this moment. And you see that spotlight moving around, trying to get some good, clear look at any of them. You see the fences, you see trees, and you notice a couple people off to the side there as well, trying to perhaps point officers in the right direction, or at least try to see what's going on. But as noted, right now in these scenarios with suspects still out there, don't know where they are, the recommendation for anybody who might be watching at home is to, if you live in that area, lock your doors, lock your windows, stay inside, and just wait for the all clear, because this is still very much an active situation.
And Dave, you have suspects that not only took off from LAPD officers, right, in this pursuit, led them on a pursuit for several minutes here, and then they jump out of a vehicle and still make a run for it. At this point, officers don't know if these people are armed, but in many of these cases, now that they're running from officers as well, it just shows that you wonder what they're up to. You know, what are they hiding? Yeah. What's behind this? What's the motive?
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm not sure. I haven't heard that it's a stolen vehicle. They haven't gotten back to me yet. But, yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know if these people, these two suspects are carrying any type of weapon, a 9mm shoved down the waistband, anything like that. So when they take off, and then they had the hoodies on, too. It's a warm night. It's a hot night. So you have that going on. But yeah, hopefully the citizens are all locked up in their residence, because you know, it's like we say now, this perimeter is locked down. You know, they're in there. They're not going to get out. So we'll wait, get the K-9 roll in, 1 or 2 K-9s, they'll respond. And usually what happens is that the area unit will put out the call on another frequency. Say, hey, the K-9, now we got a foot pursuit, officers of foot pursuit, DUI, possible GTA suspects, we're not sure, but if you can get rolling, and usually they're already rolling, you know, because when they put out a pursuit call, it goes out bureau-wide. They'll, when a unit goes in pursuit, first thing they'll do is they'll say, we're in pursuit, requesting a backup and an air unit, and that's just procedure. And they say exactly that, so that way they get backups roll in, they get air units have been notified, and then what the RTO would do is he or she would put out a broadcast in any area in the vicinity, such and such is in pursuit of a DUI. They are now in foot pursuit, and then they, that sort of thing. That's how it all starts. Of course, air unit's already on it now, but we got officers securing the area.
Yeah, and some people may be watching this and seeing those officers kind of holding that perimeter line. And that's because the best tactic right now is going to be this helicopter, right?
Yeah, they got the FLIR system. I mean, that's a good thing. The bad thing is, like I said, it's a hot summer night. People are out with fireworks. Everybody's outside anyway. So, but that can assist in the investigation as far as the air units it goes. And so they'll start directing officers where there might be, or they'll just say, okay, hey everybody, let's go ahead and stand back and let's just wait for the canine.
And right now, we're still taking a live look from SkyCal as officers have fully established that perimeter around this block. We'll continue to look for those suspects. We got a quick glimpse of the suspect's car, that white sedan that hopefully we can pop up here at the bottom of your screen in just a second. Officers were looking through it there for just a moment. But right now, you just get a sense of what they're doing, playing this sort of active waiting game, right? And trying to get a location on these suspects, because as we kept playing the video earlier for you alongside the live footage from SkyCal right now, you notice that spotlight zooming around trying to find a placement, an establishment for anything. That car was moving ever so slowly. There's the video there on the right side of your screen on West 62nd and South Hoover Street. You'll see the two suspects after the car makes its stop, not even a full stop. They'll get out and then take off to the left side of your screen, both as previously described in hoodies. Don't know if they have weapons. That is still unclear at this moment. And just tail into these backyards where you see all these trees, these fences, and still no clear sight of them. That was probably about 10 minutes ago or so. And right now, just waiting and seeing as to how officers will be able to track them down. Yeah,
and you're looking at this. The perimeter is pretty much set, Dave. But, these suspects aren't getting away. LAPD has them completely surrounded, and they can play this game as well. They will wait this out until they get the proper resources, right? You're saying the next step really is bringing in those canines if needed?
Yeah, I think they will, if they're not already en route. But, yeah, that's the one thing. Then they'll get a search party together, and they'll start looking around. And they'll work with the air unit and say, air unit, do you have anything in the back, anything going? And remember, the air unit was right overhead, so the one good thing is, when that air unit's overhead and they got that night sun shining down and they're looking, that kind of like forces the suspects to seek cover, and in that way they stay put. Because I've seen it before where we were over pursuit, my partner and I, and we had to pull off, and the second we pulled off, they said, air unit, they're up and running again, and that's what happened. So right now, you have the perimeter, you got a black and white like every third house, and then you got the air unit overhead. So yeah, this is locked down. It'll probably take a while, but eventually they'll get these two suspects into custody. And if you find somebody, you can tell. Like if there's three people there, and you could tell, and one of them's the driver, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah. 100%. LAPD has this entire area here at 62nd Street and Hoover, between 62nd and 61st Street and Hoover, completely surrounded as they continue to look for two suspects that jumped out of a car after leading LAPD officers on a pursuit. At this hour, you can see the helicopter in the sky. You have officers on the ground. But as police continue their investigation here, Gio, Dave, we are going to let you go. We're going to move on to other news, but we are going to continue to monitor this.
Of course, because this is still a very active situation as police continue to search for these pursuit suspects. We'll keep you posted on any further details as they develop, of course, here on KCAL News at 9, and if we need to, on KCAL News at 10, and online as well.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much, Dave.